Here's a question nobody asks you enough. Are you actually in control of your life, or are you just reacting to it? Most people spend their whole lives being tossed around by their emotions, other people's opinions, and circumstances they never saw coming. And the sad part, they think that's just how life works. But the ancient Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire, and Epictetus, who started life as a slave, figured something out that most people still haven't. Your outer world doesn't have to dictate your inner one, and once you get that, everything changes. Today, I'm going to walk you through 11 practical Stoic habits that will sharpen your mindset, build unshakable self-discipline, and help you show up as the strongest version of yourself in any situation. These aren't motivational quotes. These are strategies you can start using today. Stay through the whole video. Every habit connects to the next one, and the full picture is what makes this powerful. Let's get into it. Strategy 1. Make yourself a priority. Let's start with the one most people are afraid to admit they need: making yourself a priority. I know how that sounds. You've got people depending on you, work, family, responsibilities stacking up. But here's what nobody tells you. If you're constantly running on empty, you're not showing up for any of it. Not really. You cannot pour from an empty cup. That's not a cute phrase. That's a warning. Making yourself a priority doesn't mean ignoring others. It means getting yourself to a place, mentally, physically, emotionally, where you can actually show up fully. The Stoics called this self-governance. Before you can manage anything external, you have to manage yourself. Start small. Carve out even 10 minutes in the morning that belong to you. No phone, no demands, just you. Whether that's writing, breathing, reflecting, or setting an intention. Begin reinforcing your self-image with the way you talk to yourself. It feels uncomfortable at first, but your mind moves in the direction of your most repeated thoughts. Over time, what you tell yourself becomes what you believe about yourself. And learn to say no. Boundaries aren't walls. They're the thing that keeps you from burning out and resenting the people you're trying to help. When you protect your energy, you actually have more to give. That's not selfish, that's smart. Strategy 2. Enhance your appearance. Before you roll your eyes, stay with me. This one goes deeper than it sounds. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's within our control and how you present yourself. That's squarely in your hands. This isn't about chasing trends or spending money you don't have. It's about self-respect made visible. When you put care into how you show up, clean clothes, good posture, a style that actually reflects who you are, something shifts internally. You carry yourself differently. You speak with more confidence. You approach challenges from a stronger position. Think about it. The way you dress and groom yourself sends a signal, not just to others, but to yourself. It's a daily act of saying, I take myself seriously. Find what feels authentic to you and lean into it. It doesn't have to be expensive or perfect. It just has to be intentional. Because when your outer presentation aligns with the person you're choosing to become, it reinforces that identity every single day. Strategy 3. Keep a smile on your face. This one is actually rooted in science, not just philosophy. When you smile, even when you don't feel like it, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin. You're literally triggering a mood shift through a physical action. The Stoics understood this long before neuroscience confirmed it. The body and the mind are not separate. How you carry yourself physically influences how you think. Now, I'm not saying plaster on a fake grin and pretend life is perfect. Stoicism isn't about suppressing what's real. It's about choosing your response. And choosing to bring a little lightness into a heavy moment is one of the most powerful things you can do. Beyond the internal benefit, a smile is contagious. It shifts the energy in a room. It disarms tension. People trust you more. They're drawn to you. It even changes the way you sound on a phone call. Make it a habit. Start your morning with it. Find moments throughout the day where you choose it. Over time, it stops being a decision and becomes your default. Strategy 4. Maintain kindness while limiting contact. Let's be honest, there are people in your life who drain you. Co-workers, family members, old friends who never evolved. And the mistake most people make is thinking they have to choose between being kind and protecting themselves. You don't. Stoicism gives us a clear framework here. You cannot control how other people behave, but you have complete control over how much access they get to your time and energy. You can wish someone well and still keep your distance. Those two things are not in conflict. Setting limits with draining people isn't a betrayal. It's a necessity. You are not a backup character in your own story. The people who get full, consistent access to you should be the ones who add something, who challenge you, support you, or at minimum, don't consistently pull you down. Be kind, always, but be strategic. A respectful no is not a cruel act. Limiting contact is not abandonment, it's resource management, and the resource you're protecting is yourself. Strategy 5. Remain calm in stressful situations. This is the core of Stoic philosophy, and it might be the most valuable skill you can build. Chaos is inevitable. Deadlines, conflict, unexpected setbacks. These are not exceptions to life. They are life. The question is never whether stressful situations will arrive. The question is who you will be when they do. The Stoics were clear. Events don't disturb us. Our interpretation of events disturbs us. That means the moment you feel stress rising, you have a window, a pause between stimulus and response, where you can choose your reaction. Here's a simple technique that works. Breathe. In for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 4. It sounds too simple to matter, but slowing your breath literally signals your nervous system to down-regulate. Clarity follows. Then ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Often the answer is no. That question alone can strip 80% of the urgency from a situation that feels catastrophic in the moment. And finally, focus on what you can actually control. Not the deadline that got moved up, but how you manage your time now. Not the person who's being difficult, but how you choose to respond. Channel your energy into your sphere of influence and let everything else go. When you stay calm under pressure, people notice. They trust you, they look to you. Calmness isn't weakness. In chaos, it's the ultimate form of strength. Strategy 6. Set your course. In a world that constantly tells you who to be, choosing your own direction is one of the most rebellious and necessary things you can do. But setting your course isn't just about goals. Goals without values are just wishes. The first step is getting clear on what actually matters to you, not what looks impressive, not what your family expects, not what's trending. What do you genuinely value? Freedom, growth, connection, craft. Those values become your compass. When you know what you stand for, decisions get simpler, distractions lose their pull, and when things get hard, because they will, you have something to come back to. From there, set goals that are actually yours, not goals that look good on paper, goals that get you out of bed in the morning. The Stoics lived by their own principles, not society's scorecard. And that's why they had the kind of inner peace most people spend their whole lives chasing. Be ready for discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. Every obstacle you encounter on the path you've chosen isn't a stop sign, it's a training ground. Keep moving, stay curious, adapt when you need to, and trust your own instincts. The Stoics believed wisdom comes from within, and that belief starts with learning to take your own counsel seriously. Strategy 7. Make your stand. This one takes courage. Everywhere you turn, there's pressure to conform, to the group, to the algorithm, to what's popular or safe. And it's easy to slowly drift from who you are into who everyone around you seems to want you to be. Making your stand means knowing your non-negotiables and living them, not just declaring them. Honesty, loyalty, integrity, whatever it is for you, it has to show up in your behavior, not just your words. People notice when someone walks their talk. That kind of consistency is rare, and it's magnetic. Epictetus said that if you want to improve, be willing to be thought foolish or stubborn. Real growth often requires standing out, being misunderstood, being the one who doesn't go along. That's not a comfortable place, but it's where character is built. You don't have to fight every battle. Part of making your stand is knowing when to engage and when to let it go. Not every disagreement deserves your energy. Focus on the things that actually matter to you. Conserve yourself for those. And when those moments come, don't flinch. Strategy 8. Nurture your wit. This one surprises people when they hear it in the context of Stoicism, but it shouldn't. Life is heavy. Anyone who's paying attention knows that. And one of the most underrated tools for navigating that weight is a genuine sense of humor, not the kind that deflects or avoids, the kind that allows you to zoom out, find the absurdity, and not let everything crush you. Seneca said the person who laughs at themselves never runs out of things to laugh at. That's wisdom. The ability to poke fun at your own quirks, your own stumbles, shows a level of self-possession that most people never reach. Wit also keeps things in perspective. When you train yourself to notice the small ironies of everyday life, the traffic that's ruining your morning over a meeting that could have been an email, you start to see how much suffering is optional. How much of it is just your relationship to the moment. And socially, knowing how to inject a little lightness into a tense situation is a skill that opens doors, diffuses conflict, and builds deeper connection faster than almost anything else. Nurture it. Read widely. Observe the world. Stop taking yourself so seriously. It's not about being the funniest person in the room. It's about staying balanced when life gets heavy. Strategy 9. Be respectful of everyone. Marcus Aurelius governed millions of people and wrote this: "Begin each morning by reminding yourself that you will encounter difficult, ungrateful, and dishonest people, and choose in advance how you will respond." Respect, in Stoic thinking, isn't conditional. It's a reflection of your own character. You don't show respect because someone earned it. You show it because of who you've decided to be. This doesn't mean being a pushover. You can be firm, assertive, and boundaried while still treating people with dignity. In fact, the combination of quiet respect and clear limits is one of the most powerful social positions you can hold. Listen more than you speak. In a world full of noise, the person who genuinely listens stands out immediately. Show up on time, acknowledge people's effort, disagree without making it personal. These aren't soft skills, they're strength skills, and they compound. Respect is also self-protective. When you lead with it, you create less friction, fewer enemies, and cleaner relationships. You make room for genuine connection, and that, ultimately, is what makes a life feel rich. Strategy 10. Set clear parameters. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about keeping yourself intact. Without clear limits, you'll overcommit, burn out, and slowly start resenting the things and people you once cared about. Stoicism teaches us to protect our inner peace, and that requires being intentional about what you allow into your time and energy. Know your limits. What are you genuinely okay with? What consistently costs you more than it gives back? Be honest with yourself before you try to communicate it to anyone else. Then communicate it clearly. You don't need to justify or apologize. A calm, direct, "this doesn't work for me" is a complete sentence. Most people will respect it, and the ones who don't are showing you something important. The hardest part is consistency. If your limits shift every time someone pushes back, they stop meaning anything. To others and to yourself. Holding firm, calmly and consistently builds trust on both sides. Say no when you mean no. It's not selfish. It's what allows you to fully say yes to what actually matters. Strategy 11. Cut out negative energy. This is the one that ties everything together, because none of the other habits can survive if you're constantly surrounded by or generating negativity. Negative energy has sources, some external, people who drain you, environments that depress you, habits that quietly chip away at your well-being, some internal, the self-doubt, the worst-case thinking, the inner critic that never takes a day off. Start with your relationships. Take an honest inventory. Who consistently lifts you? Who consistently leaves you depleted? You don't have to cut everyone out, but you do need to be intentional about access. Quality over quantity, as the Stoics would say. Surround yourself with people who are actually moving towards something. Then look inward. The most constant source of negativity for most people isn't other people. It's their own self-talk. When you catch yourself running a negative loop, interrupt it. Not with blind positivity, but with a more accurate question. Is this true? Is this useful? What's actually within my control right now? Look at your environment too. Clutter and chaos in your physical space create noise in your mental space. Clean it up. Create an environment that reflects the version of yourself you're building. And your habits. Be honest about what's draining you. The endless scroll, the procrastination, the things you do to avoid the things that matter. Replace them gradually and intentionally with what actually serves your growth. When you clear out the negativity, you're not just removing the bad, you're making room for the good to actually land. Here's what I want you to walk away with. The Stoics didn't promise you a life without difficulty. They promised something better, the tools to face difficulty without being broken by it. Every habit we covered today is a piece of that. Prioritizing yourself, showing up with intention, staying calm, standing firm, respecting others, cutting what doesn't serve you. None of this is passive. It takes practice. It takes the willingness to look honestly at your life and make real decisions. But the payoff, the kind of mental clarity and inner strength that doesn't depend on what's happening around you, that is everything. Start with just one habit from this list. Apply it this week. Watch what shifts. And if this video gave you something, you already know what to do. See you in the next one.